Good morning, people. Morning dog vlog. Just out with the dogs in this wet, windy, traditionally Scottish day. But I don't mind this, you know. We've had snippets of a good summer, but I don't mind this at all. I like the good mixture. Autumn is almost upon us, and it's also one of my favourite times of the year. Autumn's a good time for the dogs as well. We've got the fall coming. Just the elements starting to change that little bit, really invigorate their senses. There's Degas running off there, doing what he does in the morning. The older dog, Jacques, just around there. Yeah, there he is. Sniffing around. He's not the quickest guy. He doesn't have the youth that Degas has, and that abundance of enthusiasm and energy, but he did have that in his day. Labradors, good for the soul. They lift the soul. It's important to me that my dogs get the benefit from every walk. Whether that's a long walk, a short walk, just wherever it is. I do seek out natural habitats and I do integrate a little bit of training into every walk. Lots of people ask me about training stuff for your dog. Now, belonging to the retriever group, Labradors are predominantly good all-rounders, but they're predominantly retrievers. They love to retrieve. Just checking on where the old boy is there. 12 years old now. Hi, Jack! Come on, son. Degas will often go and get him if he's lagging too far behind and mushy him on. Jack likes to read the papers, as I call it. He stops and reads every scent that's been left by whatever it is. Degas likes to cover the ground. He's a good scenter as well, but he also loves to interact a lot. I had Jack out yesterday. I'd steadied Degas up and managed to get Jack motivated for some retrieves, and it really lifted his spirit, you know. He has worked a gun in his life. He spent his first 4.5 years as a working gun dog, and it's just to keep his brain lubricated with his purpose, because he was a very good retriever. He was a very busy worker, and he was an absolute delight just to see him go to work. Degas have brought that on from a later stage. Now, lots you can do with your dog on walks, and I will cover some of these in future videos. But if your dog's a natural retriever, now what's a natural retriever? You'll know when they express their happiness that they've always got something in your mouth. So there's Degas, just caught a scent there. Just looking at where he's going with that. We do have the deer in this forest, especially early mornings like this. But if your dog expresses itself as a retriever, so when you come home, your dog's happy to see you, a lot of them will just naturally and instinctively go and pick something up to express their happiness. Now, there's a hint in that of what you can do with your training. Gun dog training, excellent outlet for your dogs. You can get them onto dummies, different types of dummies, different weights of dummies, and you can eventually go on to cold game, and if you have designs to work your dog, then that's a great way to build them up. But having something in their mouth, their ability to carry it until you want it, to bring it to you. That's a great hint of what you can do with your training. I will show you later on, but small jobs to give your dog. Find your wallet, bring your slippers to you, find your hat. These are all great things that you can really work with your dog. Short, sharp. Degas, come! Attaboy, go. Train whatever you want to have at a good level. Train it when you don't need it. All that means is getting in the practice without the distractions that are a bit of a challenge to you. That could be other dogs, game, scent, it doesn't matter. But train it when you don't need it. And every single walk should have that little bit of training, whether you're recalling your dog, whether you're working on some steadiness, obedience training, a little bit of retrieve. Do something every single walk. Most people tend to walk their dogs 2-3 times per day. Ample opportunity to work on something that you would like to improve on. On the topic of retrieving, getting a dog to do a job for you is a great way to deepen your bond. Now, although gun dog training, as we've spoken about, is very handy for you, getting your dog to do regular jobs. I've lost count the amount of times I've lost this hat. Now, I don't believe I'm meant to lose this hat, but I've lost it so many times and re-found it again. Not always through dogs, that it's supposed to be on my head. But I was up in Perthshire last year with one of the rescue Labradors that I work with, and a fierce wind had blown it off my head and into this deep pond. And I couldn't get it, and I'd finally given it up for lost. I returned a couple of days later with one of the dogs, Tally, and as I sat on the wooden decking near the pond, I saw the shape on the pond bed. It wasn't too far in. Now, Tally's by no means a great water dog, but I had been teaching her to bring stuff to me. And I sent her in for it, and after 2 or 3 attempts, she came out with the hat and presented it to me. Now, I didn't have anything in the way of a reward as food or play with a toy or anything like that, but all I had was my emotions and expressing how happy I was with her for doing that task for me, for doing that job. And she completed it well, and I really let her know how happy I was with her. Moments like that, moments that matter, are crucial to deepening the bond with your dog. There's no doubt about that. We don't necessarily have to have. That's not to say if it had a nice piece of chicken, it paid her for that job, certainly I would have done that, but it's not critical that you have these. I just wanted the dog to know that she'd done something very special for me, and it was deeply appreciated, and I let her know that, and we had some play, and she's done it a few times ever since. I've set up some fines for her, and dogs are great detectives. They really love getting that moment of clarity where they understand what you want and need, and then it's all about encouragement, encouraging them to do it. Sometimes that can be a bit daunting. It may be something simple like jumping over a log, going over a fence, going into water or something like that, but when they do it, when they accomplish it, you can see that they are so happy with themselves. And giving your dog a job, simple jobs to do things for you, that's a great way of cementing the bond, and it's something that I continuously do. I love my gun dog work. I love sending the dog out on dummies of various retrieves, but I also like to create little moments that matter where I can get them to do something for me, and that includes being in the home as well. It's not always outdoors. So get creative and try and think of what your dog could do for you and how you can shape that outside. I'll show you later on how I get my dogs to find my wallet. So as I say, if your dog expresses a lot of happiness with retrieving, is my boy, make use of that, make the most of that, because you can make it, you can enhance that happiness. You can really bring that on through getting him to do that job for you, because it's what he's innately predisposed to do. And all we need to do, all training is taking a natural behavior and making the very most of it. Attaboy, attaboy. Also, spend time just being together, sitting together. Interrupt your walks. Just have a moment of rest, and dogs appreciate that. It really helps calm them down. It really helps getting them to be with you regardless of what's going on, and it helps their steadiness training as well. Ultimately, all steadiness is self-control. And there's my boy, there's my boy. But yeah, spend some time with your dog, just settle down, watch the world go by, and that in itself, showing affection there, that will bring you and your dog closer together. Have a great day, folks.